have to see, they see is the chicken liver. Now interesting because the chicken liver has to be of good quality. Otherwise, if it's not good quality, you are not welcome in their house. And therefore, you will be treated based on the quality of the chicken liver. Kapag papangit ang liver, they will have to kill another chicken. And another one. And so I thought, paano kung wala ng chicken? Am I next? I said, maybe. But this is the thing. This is what they believe in there. Good thing when he broke it in half, wow, maganda ang liver ng chicken. Thank you. So, maganda ang chicken. You know why? Because kapag maganda ang chicken, they believe. And this has been a belief since 2,000 years ago. If the chicken quality, the chicken liver quality chicken. If the quality of the liver chicken liver. If that is quality, I mean the liver of the chicken, not the chicken of the liver. If that's good quality, and then the intention, we say, we believe, the intention is good. And therefore, my intention was good. So he prepared the chicken, and in Ifugao, they don't use flavoring. They only use salt. So salt, boiled water, chicken, and then rice, yung tinawon. Tinawon ng rice, alis tinawon. Because once a year lang sila nagpa-plant ng rice. Why? Because they believe that also the terraces has to breathe. Hindi kaya sa atin sa Kapatagan, whole year round, may nakatanim. But anyway, we had our dinner, and it's one of the best dinner I had ever that night. Yeah, explain the tears of me. So the reason I'm saying this because it's an experience and I learned a lot. Now, this is so far what I have learned from the Panawe or Ifugao terraces. So number one, it's called the eighth wonder of the world. Since it cannot be included in the seven, we called it the eighth wonder of the world. And why not? It was built by free men, not slaves, more than 2,000 years ago. And it was built not just to serve the present generation at the time they needed that. It was built to serve the generations after it. It's the only one of the wonder of the world na hanggang ngayon, it's feeding and it's actually functioning according to its purpose. And it was done by a community. And interesting when you think about the Ifugao terraces, you think about life and collaboration. Busy. We are busy. Who was responsible in building the Ifugao rice terraces? Look at me. Because pyramids of Egypt was built under the rule of Emperor Rufus in 164 before Christ. I didn't know if that's true. Pero lahat to, may mga leader that can be identified doon sa kanilang pinagawa. Yes or no? Yes. But the Ifugao terraces, do you have someone in mind? Wala. Bakit? Sino ang leader nila at the time? Their leader is a council of leaders. And these leaders are leaders because they are leader of their clan. So it's a council. Now we're saying that because the Ifugao terraces was built on the basis of collaboration, not subordination. In other words, walang inalipin, walang inalila, lahat ay isang community na gumawa nun. And you know, hanggang ngayon, they practice it. If kapag may nasirang isang paddy or yung isang part ng terraces, all they have to do is to knock and call on help from the village and they will repair that for free. knowing that in return, kapag sila naman nasiraan, tutulungan din sila. I'm saying this because this is how we are as Filipino people. That's why the leadership that works here is not transformative leadership or even servant leadership. It's about step-back leadership. The ability of the leader to step back, to dim his light so that others may shine bright. If you want to lead, you don't want to always be in the front. You have to take a step back so that the people can be empowered and can do their job well. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa mga tao na ikaw nagtiwala ka, inutusan mo, ikaw din ang gumawa. Because you are not trusting that person enough. You are not trusting your members enough. So that in my particular study of step-back leadership and this original concept based on Ikugawa Rice Terraces, that's what I realized. I realized that there are 3 steps that define a leader. And the first step is step in. Step in yung una. Step in to inspire, teach, and equip his people. And then step back to inspire, step back to permit and empower the people to do their job. In other words, nasa backseat ka na, sila na gumagawa. And then you step out in order for you to find new opportunities for your team. Once you step out, you're stepping in again. Kasi bago ka. And then you step back. And you will realize that this is a ladder. It's like a terraces. It's not a leadership cycle. It's a leadership ladder. The sky is the limit. And now I'm going to compare that. Ano yung comparison if you're going to lead by collaboration and if you're going to lead by subordination? And this is what I found out. We're talking about slave and free man, selfish, selfless, present thinking, forward thinking, and then death and life. You want to be an effective faculty, teaching faculty. You want to be an effective teacher. You know, I feel a lot, so much for teachers because I am a product of a public school teacher. My mom was a grade 1 teacher. And her salary literally fed us, the 3 of us, plus our dad. So 4. So when I can recall the slogan at the time. Be proud, you're a teacher. The future of your husband depends on you. And that made sense. We're like that.
It made sense.
So if you want to do this, make your classroom. Because as teachers, I don't think you can disagree with me, but as teachers, you are automatic. By default, you're a leader. Yes or no? You influence a lot. And you're not just influence a lot. You're influencing a lot of generations. You know, if there's one profession na nakakakita sa mata ng susunod na henerasyon, it's not the police, it's not the speaker, it's not the fireman or the doctors, it's the teachers. You are seeing the eyes of the next generation, and therefore the next generation will depend much on what you're going to teach them because you are with them almost every step of the way in their formative stage. So, yeah. No, this is mine for you. And you notice I am standing ovation. So this is what I would like to teach you. At least to give you a suggestion. Make your classroom a collaborative learning environment. By that, don't stand up there and claim that you are God because you are not. Don't stand up in front and say you know everything because probably they know more than you are because they are friends with Google. And they always talk a lot, like research and this things. I'm saying this because if you want to empower the classroom, and then as teachers, it makes sense when at some point you step back, and then your students, they will. It will empower them. It will inspire them. Because you know what I believe? Your legacy is far more important than your name. People will not remember your name, but the way you made them feel is probably the only thing that will last for a lifetime. I cannot recall much of my teacher's name in elementary and high school, but I know what many of them did to me, what they taught me, and what they inspired me to do. So if their legacy is more important than their name. And by the way, if we are talking about possibility, what is possible for you, always remember there is I in possibility. You can make it happen. But there is no I in success. Kahit titigan niyo po ng matagal, wala po matagal. But you know what is in success? You. There is no I in success. And I spoke in Cebu. Someone said, no, that's not right. There is I in success. And so before I leave you, I hope I made sense. I'm going to predict your future. Hopefully you don't mind, because I'm also a fortune teller. This is your future. DLSHIJK family. Exactly. There's no future. What are you waiting for? No, actually there is. And your future, well, according to the vibes that I get from the crowd, is this. 10 years from now, if you're not dead, you're alive. And it only makes sense. It only makes sense if you know that you're going to die anytime soon. And then this is probably the best time for you to ask yourself that if you're still alive and therefore not dead in 10 years, 10 years later, what is your world going to be? I hope I can answer this question for you. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so I cannot answer this question. But I always believe that your future is right there in your hands. So everyone, please take a look at your hands right now. See, it's dirty. Therefore, your future is dirty. No, I think that your future really depends on what you do to yourself than what the world does to you. Whatever you permit, whatever leadership style that you perform, however you appreciate things or don't appreciate things at all around you, it really matters what you allow yourself to be. So it has more to do with what you do to yourself than what the world does to you. And so in whatever it is that you're going to do from here on forward, I suggest that you start with trust. You act on your desire, collaborate, and remember to step back every once in a while. So, thank you for your time. Alas 12 ba ako?
Yes.
10:30 pa lang? Okay, so hintayin na lang po natin yung 12. Ano talaga? Q&A na. Hindi, sige, open ko yung floor sa Q&A. Otherwise, mag-pick up ako dun sa aking stored knowledge. And then I proceed. Alright? So, any question po muna prior dun sa discussion ko? Sino po yung moderator? Sino po? Ako na rin. Ako na rin yung moderator. Alright, thank you so much. Palakpakan po natin, Mr. Lloyd Luna. Woo! Mr. Lloyd! Great job! Alright, any question for him? Any question? Yes, ma'am. Sige po, moderator, yes. Thank you,
floor is now
moderator.
open for questions. So we provided microphones. Who would like to? Any questions for Sir Lloyd?
Any question except medicine? I don't answer medicine questions. After po nito, magpe-pep talk pa ako dun sa Stepback leadership. I think you deserve more details. But you can ask me questions. And then probably you can pick up on it. Gosh, this is the first time na natapos ako ng maaga. Interesting. Isa-isa po, huwag po kayo magunahan pagtatanong. Please, take it easy. Kaya na lang kaya pag-usap. Ay, yes sir. Please, introduce yourself po. Tapos, kung ano pong ginagawa niyo.
Good morning, I am Dr. Jason. I'm a pediatrician under the Faculty of Pediatrics.
Kayo po yung pediatrician na detalyado or yung mabilisan lang?
Italiano.
Detalyado. Ano po yung gusto niyo?
Okay, a question you mentioned passingly about transformative leadership against stepback leadership. I presume they're basically just the same, but could you elaborate further on this?
Ano po yung transformational leadership?
Transformative leadership.
Transformative leadership. So it's I understand it's bringing you from one place to another or parang converting you.
It's a nurturing type of leadership. You nurture a leader from hopefully in time. They tend to be the next leader for the next for the organization.
Kasi po yung part yung type ng leadership na yun yung hindi ko expertise. So ang expertise ko is yung step-back leadership based on if you got LSS. But if there's similarity, kung yung may nurturing po dyan, and then that should be almost identical. Okay. So akin lang is nilagay ko dun sa perspective or sa context na we already have our leadership style 2,000 years ago. Even before, in fact, even before irrigation system was founded, may irrigation system na tayo 2,000 years ago. And mind you that it was built 2,000 years ago without any machinery at hand. So if it is about nurturing and then transformative leadership is almost identical with step-back leadership. Only that I emphasize that if you are a leader and then there is always a chance for your challenge to step back. Because I think it's very tempting to always step in and just stay there. So yun po yung sa akin. So if that is the context, di magkaparehas po. Transformative sa kayo. Thank you, Doc Jason. Thank you. Saan po yung clinic ninyo? Para doon ako nagki-clinic po kayo dito? Or...
Sir, question. Sir.
Ay, hindi pwede. Moderator.
Sir, kasi most of us are faculties and since yung iba na po yung generation ng mga students natin, like millennials sila. So, I would like to ask, so how can we engage collaboration among our students? Kasi parang engage sila with social media. So, pag ginawa ka na nila yung gadgets nila, parang sila lang at yung gadget nila. So, how can we engage collaboration among our students?
Oh. Just don't engage. Wag na lang mag-engage para solve mo. Now, I thought, I was born in 1982. Sino yung kabatch ko? 82. Well, huwag kang sinungaling. 82 ka, late registration ka na. 72 ka pinanganak, na-register ka 82. So 82. This is a senior generation. It's between millennial and Gen X. They call it senior generation. Yung 5 years, 77 to 82. I guess 77 to 82. It's because yung aming generation, yung nakakita, we are at the dawn of the changing of the guard. So, part of us, typewriter, and then part of us is yung screen. So kami yung senior generation. If your question is how to engage your your students, I think number one, you have to be interesting. It starts with an interest. Yung first day ng classes, kapag ka hindi ka interesting, wala na kayong chance. It will only take you one first impression to make sure you get them. And in public speaking, professional speaking, this is, you have to capture the audience in 3 minutes or less. Otherwise, the audience will not listen to you anymore in the next 45 minutes or so. Would you agree? Would you agree?
Yes.
So question, how do you become interesting? Because kung ang premise ko, ang context ko po, is kailangan kayo maging interesting. Kasi pag interesting kayo, who would have thought engineering, in our class, magkakaroon kami ng isang professor who is also a comedian. And I'm going to show you how this professor became instrumental in inspiring us to collaborate and work together as a class. The name of the professor is engineer. I forgot the name, but he has a name. You see, legacy is more important than the name. Engineer Gidaria. That's the name. Engineer Gidaria. A muscle man guy, maputi, nag-gym. Yung buhok niya is parang kay Brutus. Kapag pasok sa classroom, alam mo yung energy is nakita agad. Now, I'm not saying na gagawin niyo to. I'm saying that this is sort of a model. So I can answer your question in length so that I can reach strong. So, the guy, pasok sa klase, boom! Maayos. This guy, our professor, very intellectual, but also very interesting because of the following things that he did in the first few meetings that we had. For example, siya yung professor na magbibigay sila ng mga plus. Magbibigay sila ng mga plus, isusulat niya sa class card, at the time class card, kung ilan yung plus mo. Based on your involvement in class. For example, during the time there was no whiteboard, and therefore we're using the blackboard which is colored green. Which I don't know why. Blackboard, ching, chong, chang, chong, chang, naputo lang chalk. Nalaglag. Pinulot mo ang chalk. Plus 5. So can you imagine the class diving to the chalk? As if it's a football or something. When you see our professor taking his wallet from his pocket, you might as well go to him because he will ask you to buy a hot dog sandwich and a Coke down to the ground floor because we are in the 4th floor and there's no elevator. Well, there is, it's not working, it's PUP. Apat na palapag, bago bibili ka na. Since malayo yun, last 10. Can you imagine the class? Kapag ka may assignment and the assignment is so difficult, you can no longer answer that. You don't have to answer the question because you can be creative. Kapag ka ang assignment mo sa bond paper ay nilagyan mo ng kandila, tinahi mo, nilagyan mo ng bulaklak, nilagyan mo ng kawayan, nilagyan mo ng felt paper, Manila paper, or kung ano mang klase ng design na may mga bulaklak, last 12. And he would teach like this. Layman's term. Our subject was integral calculus. Ito yung may mga bulate. Ang sinabi niya, pag nakita mo yung bulate, purgahin mo. Paano pinupurga? Ganito, ganyan. So in other words, yung technical terminologies, ginagawa ng layman, and then we learn as we laugh. Because also, he makes it fun for us. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because during finals, kung talagang bagsak ka na, and then all you need to do is to perform in class. Either a song number, a guitar, a dance number, and you probably will pass. And I'm saying this because he's not really encouraging for you not to learn, but he is making fun inside the room that, matututo ka because you are also inspired to do it. na comedy is something na hindi naman nag-a-apply para sa lahat, although it's a skill that you can learn. But I think I'm going back to premise that if you want to get engagement from your students, you have to be an interesting teacher. You have to speak their language, and you have to be with them. Now, interesting because also, people can respect you without the typical notion of respect na ikaw yung sinusunod, ikaw lang masusunod. Sometimes, yung respect is just mutual. And when you start doing this mutual respect, that you respect them and they respect you, I think it's a kind of thing that we would want, and that should encourage engagement in class. So it's no longer about, parang, ako yung prof, dyan lang kayo, makinig kayo, ako yung prof, meron akong alam, meron di ba kayong alam? Ano yung alam ninyo, prof, i-share mo sa class, discuss it. And then in the process, you realize that you're empowering the class, and then they learn together, and then they are more energetic. We were more excited to come to our integral calculus because we know the professor, we are going to enjoy the class. So I think, the question in short is be interesting, and in law, that's the law. So I hope I was able to answer your question. Ilagay niyo lang po clear niyo lang yung line kung kailan kayo professor or kung kailan kayo peer. Because again, ang idea po ng collaboration is walang leader because everybody is a leader. But there's mutual respect and understanding of things. So clear lang, nakalatag lang siya. So I think because, papakabay ko pa ng pag-t-shirt. If there's anything, I found out that when you are collaborating, you are empowering each member of the group. Yes or no? And when you get to the point of empowerment, hindi ka na mahihirapan because there's no resistance because everybody's involved in everything that you're doing inside the classroom. Yes? So in fact, alam niyo po sa amin, tinatawag yung generation namin or yung millennial generation na entitled generation. Narinig niyo na po yun? Na yung mga bata na yan, sobrang entitled na yan eh. Parang kapag masabihan mo lang parang balat bawang. Sibuyas kayo? Sorry. Sibuyas pala yun. O balat sibuyas. Mapagsabihan mo lang, iiyak, magsusumbong sa nanay, matatanggal ako. We are not really an entitled generation. Kung mas makikilala nyo lang po ang aming generation, millennial generation. We are looking for an opportunity to be of service and of value. Naghahanap kami ng relevance. Saan kami magiging relevant? At pag wala kami makita, we're going to focus our attention to social media and something else. And by the way, it's not our fault na kami po ay entitled. You know why? Lumaki po kami at yung generation ngayon na kahit napangit ang gawa, very good sa kindergarten. At lahat po ng estudyante ngayon hindi uuwi ng walang award kahit na best in helping the classmate. Na bawat maliit, hindi ko mapapakita sa'yo. I have a 4-year-old daughter. She's the only daughter that I know. Well, I know I have. At second day niya ngayon sa school, and first day is nag-trace sila using the pencil. Ang pangit talaga ng sulat ng anak ko. And yet there's a 5-star, very good. There's something. Kung ako yung picture, I probably would good or it's improvement. Because it backfires. Lahat ng maliliit na achievement nila, they make it a big deal. And therefore, pag nilagay mo na sila sa tunay na buhay, and then sabihin mo ng this improvement, you know how they will take it? They will take it against you personally, kaaway ka na. Even if your intention is pure. So starting today, train all of your students. We can do it. Let them experience failure firsthand. And you're out of job. Make the sacrifices. Come on. So, I guess yun yung idea ko on how collaboration works as far as the millennial generation. So, engagement. And again, hindi ako natapos. And again, I mentioned about the attention economy. Now, we are always fighting for attention. Na kapag wala ka ng interesting na sinasabi, then they tend to focus on another thing. Yeah, so that's the challenge. But the challenge the thing is, hindi natin kalaban yung social media or kung ano